Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio. Mike and Billy right here on the Golf Talk Radio Network. You want to call us, 805-903-1974. We'll give you $50 in McPhee's gift cards to the first couple callers. We'll do that because it's a thankful kind of weekend. We're going to touch on the match a little bit. Billy's got some really cool information, and you got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I did from start to finish, and it was a couple of reasons. First, I was on that, I don't want to watch that, I don't want to pay any money for it kind of person when it first came out. And I was away for a few days, as I mentioned, and got back, and nothing sounded better than just staying home, right? And it was Black Friday, and Josie went to do a little shopping and did some things with her sister, and I just, I want to stay home and put a fire in a fireplace, and said it would be cool. So it actually was something I look forward to just to watch. And so there was definitely some intriguing moments, and I have some bullet thoughts and stuff. But one of the things that I will comment, there was some good things and disappointments. And the disappointments for me and for many was the lack of banter between the two players, because it was set up that way. They have the 24/7 on, that they do before fights, and they have the lives, and they built it up like this is going to be a banter match, side bet match, and there's going to be a lot of needling, if you will, kind of like when we play.
Exactly.
Right? And there was basically none. And there was reasons for it, and they talked about it a little bit afterwards. They both got most into. Tiger's never been one to talk much on the golf course. He's a banter off golf course or playing other games. I mean, he's a needler.
Right.
Practice rounds a needler. But when he gets into competition, he's known for saying nothing, basically, right? I mean, he was like Hogan, kind of focused and never said a word to anybody when he played.
Right.
So he was not the person to be put into a banter, is it a show? Is it a competition? So what is it, right? So I think the listeners or the viewers like me, I was waiting for some of this, banter. I know Phil tried. You can see him trying, as they know they're mic'd. The caddies are mic'd, so you got to be careful what you say. And so they're trying to entertain for a little bit. And then there's the weird part about it is you watched just those two play every single shot, walking between. There's no commercials.
Yeah.
Right. Or very few. There's a couple soundbite commercials. So in tournament golf, when we watch, you're usually watching the best players, and they'll go from hole to hole to hole, and you'll show you pretty much the best shots that you see. So a lot of those times on TV, what you think is in live time is actually just a few seconds delayed, and the producers go, let's go to green 16, where VJ just made a putt.
Yes.
And they go over there, and they say, oh, and here's VJ. Oh, it is in. So, it looks like these guys are extremely good making everything, but you don't see every shot.
It's painted. It's a perfect edit.
Absolutely, it's a perfect edit. So this was kind of something. It looked like these guys weren't playing well at all. As a matter of fact, neither one of them were pretty much in tournament form. But they both shot 69s, and that counts the gimmies, which is a whole other topic. But since they weren't awful, Phil never bogeyed a hole. So...
Which is pretty incredible in itself.
It's just not one bogey at all. But he had so many putts that he's known for being an aggressive putter and stuff. So there was no fireworks. I mean, at all.
Yeah.
So it was always someone. They were very close the whole time. So if you're a fan of one or the other, you're rooting for one or the other.
Right.
I think, unless you're rooting for a show, and if you're rooting for a show, you were very disappointed. But if you were rooting for one or the other, you were always had a minute that you're always in it, wondering what's going to happen. If you're if you're pulling for Tiger, pulling for Phil, it was right up to the last putt. It was you never knew who was going to win. That part was very cool.
Right.
And even me, and I was. Who do you think I was rooting for?
Oh, Phil.
Of course.
There's no doubt in my mind.
But I also was rooting for Tiger when he won the Tour Championship. I really was. But
Phil wasn't in that.
Yeah. So this was very, very. This was pretty cool. So I was puzzled by the panel, the Samuel Jackson, Barkley, and Pat Perez. Did you see the panel at all? You didn't see much.
I saw the panel. So we decided to actually air buy the match at the Paso Robles Golf Club for the bar and restaurant. It's a great place to hang out and watch it, right? I mean, plus you can see the golf course and all that stuff. So we had it on, but there were so many people in there. Like we had the TVs turned up as best you could, but it's kind of like when you're at the gym, and if it's really noisy, you can't hear a bunch of stuff, which I know you're there all the time.
Yeah,
and so
I'm up and down on the treadmill and stuff. I can't focus on them.
So we had the closed caption going, so I could read a little bit, what they were saying, but I couldn't quite get the feel and the gist of the whole thing. But go ahead. So
they had the announcers weren't so bad as far as they were their golf announcer, but they had this panel of Samuel Jackson and Charles Barkley and Pat Perez, and I don't know, some other guy, I don't know who it was, and trying to make humor out of it, and they're not announcers, and Charles Barkley's trying to be
they have
funny
Darren Clark? Wasn't Darren?
Yeah, Darren. He was one of the announcers.
Yeah.
But he was good. All right, those guys were kind of doing play-by-play.
He's looking slick, man.
He's looking good, man, and it has something behind him.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson and Barkley did a couple skits that they showed, and they're because he's all what's in your wallet, right?
Yeah,
that's
right,
sponsored the Capital One thing, but it was it was so that was. I don't know if it was good or not. I mean, Barkley made some comments going, I just want to say this is some crappy golf, and he thought he can beat both of them playing. He was like, I just got to say this.
He's just being Barkley.
He's just being Barkley.
Yeah.
Both playing awful today, and so there was some, dudes. There's some good stuff and then some bad stuff. The side bets were very few. You thought there was going to be a bunch of them. That this is the way they preset it. It was going to be a bunch of banter, going to be needling each other, and there's going to be a bunch. There was a few side bets in the beginning. I think Phil took $600,000 and Tiger took $200,000 out of each other's pockets was go to charity. So Phil's got to pay. Tiger's got to pay Phil $600 to go to his charity, and Phil's paying Tiger $200,000 to go to his charity, out of their own pockets. But that stopped pretty much. There was hardly, that was almost, they had the closest to the pins on 3 of the 5 par 3s or whatever it was, or 4 of them. And then there was one hole they bet $1 million as no one can make eagle on a par 4. I mean, and neither one of them hit the green in 2.
Right.
So it's like, they're betting they can make an eagle, and neither one of them hit the green in 2. So on a par 4. So there was some interesting stuff, but the one thing I'm puzzled by, and if anybody's calling, you might agree, there was some gimmies towards the end of the match.
That was interesting because that was the part that I saw.
Yeah.
Because I finally had some time to just kind of hang out for about a half hour, 40 minutes. So I was in the bar with all the people just watching. I was still working, so I'm kind of looking at pace of play and all that stuff, but I'm watching that whole thing. But go ahead.
The very last hole, they both had 4-footers or so, and Tiger had a little further, but Phil was just inside of that, maybe 4 or 5 footers. But Tiger made his for par, and they were all square at the time. And because Tiger made a great chip in, one of the only sparks on 17. But then Tiger reached down, picked up his coin, and Phil still had a 4-foot putt. And it was like, wow, that was interesting because it could have, that was for the match. Right. And then you think, okay, it was good sportsmanship. Is this good for golf? And didn't really think too much of it, but I was really surprised. I just was surprised.
Yeah.
So they went to the playoff hole, and then Phil did the same thing, I think twice with Tiger. Once was 3-footer or something, but the other one was like 7 or 8 feet.
The other one was that was the part that we were all talking about. It was about 7 feet.
I was blown away that he said to pick that thing up.
Did you see how he hesitated though? He was hesitating.
Who, Phil?
Phil was hesitating on whether or not to do it, and so then he gave him the putt, and then the next time in, what was really interesting is when Tiger had he probably had again. I think it was
closer than when he picked up.
Yeah. So,
but it was for a birdie.
So what I was wondering since Tiger had the putt first, I thought, okay, if Tiger mates the putt on the third time they played the par 3, and Phil's got a 4-footer, does he give it to him?
Yeah.
Because Mickelson had done that before on a putt that was way
and Tiger
longer.
did it before that to Phil on the very last hole. So these guys have really wanted to beat each other's brains out. To me, I thought that was they're trying to do the Nicklaus sportsmanship thing, and then Tiger said later, and I was like jumping off my chair, going, "What?" Because they really wanted to win these matches, and you should win the match.
Sure.
But that's part of golf. Having to make a 5-foot putt or something is part of it. I mean, that's hard to do.
Right.
For all that,
especially
really,
under that situation.
Really, under that situation, and they were putting well at all. None of them were putting. They were putting awful all day. Relatively awful they were. They didn't make any putts all day long. So it was interesting to see that. And then later, Tiger said, I didn't want it to end that way. I made my par, and I didn't want to win that way, and I didn't want Phil to not win that way. So that made some sense. But the one Phil gave Tiger, that was 7 feet. I was blown away by that because I know how bad he wanted to win at least the pre-hype of the match, how bad Phil wanted it. It's not about the money. We all know that. I mean, there's so much money they both have. But I think the bragging rights and beating Tiger was huge. And he had a 7-foot putt, and Tiger didn't make a putt all day long. Or 6, I don't know what the official distance was, but it was a lot farther than any gimme we would ever give.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue the thoughts here. Our phone number, if you guys want to call, 805-903-1974. First couple callers get a round of golf to Paso Robles Golf Club and McPhee's Grill gift cards. You call us at 805-903-1974.
I'll even throw in a Black Lake.
There you go. Cool. And thank you to Sundale Country Club for partnering with Golf Talk Radio. You can check out their website, sundalecountryclub.com. Tee time 661-831-5224. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Millie. Be right back.